Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is November 13th, 2018. I'm Sabrina Rodriguez. A new photograph studio in town and an update on the wildfires in California, and stocks in Asia sink. These stories and more coming up next on Texan TV. In campus news, a chance for students to pay their parking tickets is now in effect. Throughout the whole month of November, students will be able to pay off their citations by bringing in food to the campus police department. The food drive is called Food for Fines and is requesting non-perishable items. Bringing a receipt is required, and students who participate will receive a 50% break. The event will last all throughout November. And in local news, according to the Stephenville Empire Tribune, Fisher Randernick, founder and CEO of Flight Reach Production, has launched a new sister company to serve the needs he saw in the community for a professional photography studio. Flight Reach Studios was created to focus on special moments such as maternity shoots, graduation, wedding programs, and family shoots, and even holiday cards. Flight Reach Productions has been located at 198 South Belknap Street, Suite 205 since January. The website for the new company, Flight Reach Studio, launched this week. You can visit the website at flightreachstudios.com. In other local news from the Stephenville Empire Tribune, Captain Bryson Kennedy with the Stephenville Fire Department is on his way to California, where he will spend the next 14 days battling the wildfire that have ravaged the state as early as Tuesday. The Woolsey Fire, which broke out Thursday afternoon near Semi Valley, that consumed nearly 170,000 acres in Los Angeles and Ventura counties. Already 44 people have died in the deadliest fire in California's history. Fire Chief Jimmy Chu called Kennedy his go-to guy, who rose throughout the ranks quickly to become a captain. He has been with the department for more than 10 years. Chu also said Kennedy was a great leader. We're going to take quick commercial break. When we get back, learn about the latest state and national and international news.
Mi Familia, a Mexican restaurant here in Stephenville that serves a variety of foods, known for the best margaritas in town, also serves a variety of draft beers. Don't miss out on some great Mexican food here at Mi Familia.
According to the Office of Texas Government, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that firefighters and support personnel from across Texas will be deployed to help combat the devastating wildfires currently impacting Southern California. Approximately 200 firefighters with 55 fire engines from local fire departments from across Texas, as well as teams from Texas Forest Services at Texas A&M. In other national news, Kyrsten Sinema became the first female senator elected in Arizona. Sinema will also be the state's first Democratic senator since 1994. She first came into the public eye as a bisexual Green Party activist in Phoenix. Sinema beat out Republican Martha McSally, a former Air Force pilot. The 42-year-old has a law degree and served 3 terms in Congress before being elected to the Senate. In national news, just one day before a deadly wildfire hit Northern California, a utility company emailed a woman telling her that they need to access her property since the power lines were causing sparks. This, combined with the utilities company's apparent track record, has brought them under a lot of criticism. The cause of the wildfire is still unknown, but as of today, 42 people have died. For more on the wildfire, we take you to the Associated Press.
I've been doing this job for 31 years, and probably in the last 5, maybe 7 years, every year seems to get worse. A lot of that has to do with the recent drought and the drought that we're still going through. And with that, that drought killed a lot of vegetation. And so that dead vegetation is prone to burning, obviously. You add low humidities and strong winds, and a fire that would normally burn somewhat mundane now is burning in extremely. You have to attack these fires aggressively, but safety is our #1 concern. Our firefighters, no matter what agency you work for, are very well trained. We can recognize the conditions and know when to directly engage a fire and when to back off. We always try the approach of keeping the small fires small, but in this case here, when you arrive and the fire's already 100 acres and running, when you have 70-mile-per-hour winds and 300-foot flame lengths, that's something you don't get in front of. So you take the defensive approach at that point, and the #1 goal is just to get everybody out of its way, try to save what you can save, and then essentially you have to wait for the fire either to run out of fuel or the wind stop, and then that's when you start making good progress with containing the fire. We're dealing with 30-foot brush and grass. Up in Northern California, the campfire, they're dealing with 150-foot trees. In addition to 30-foot brush. The fuel loading is just tremendous.
Asian stocks sank Tuesday after tech sell-off dragged Wall Street lower. A sell-off in technology companies knocked more than 600 points off the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The wave of selling snared big names including Apple, Amazon, and Goldman Sachs banks. Consumers-focused companies and media and communications stocks all took heavy losses that in turn weighed on chip makes. The potential damage to global trade brought on by President Donald Trump tariffs battle with Beijing is looming as leaders of Southeast Asian nations, China and the U.S. and other regional economies meet in Singapore this week. Countries across the region, many of whom have relied heavily on trade to grow their economies, are responding with strong talk about free trade. We're going to take another commercial break. After the commercials, we will be talking about what's next for the undefeated Texans football team.
Soup and more at the Corner Store is the perfect lunch spot. They have a variety of menu options, as well as daily specials and sweet treats to complete any meal. Check them out Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., right off of Stephenville's Town Square.
In sports news, tickets for the Texan football game playoff game are now on sale. The Texan football team is hosting Azusa Pacific this Saturday at 1. Due to the playoff game is hosted by NCAA, Charlton's free tickets for students cannot be put into effect. However, Charlton Athletics has purchased over 1,000 free tickets for students. Tickets can be picked up at the Rudderway ticket booth anytime this week. If you can't pick up a ticket or want to invite any non-student to the game, tickets will be $10 for general admission and $5 for students. And today will be a high of 42 degrees and a low of 25. Be sure to keep your faucets dripping tonight to prevent frozen pipes. And in honor of Veterans Day and those who served in military services and sacrifice are quite familiar to Roy David McCoy, a former resident from Stephenville who received a Purple Heart after being seriously injured by a booby trap while serving in Vietnam. McCoy joined the Marines in 1964. He suffered 200 wounds from shrapnel and had a total of 27 surgeries. McCoy was also awarded a Navy Commendation Medal with a V for valor under combat for saving a wounded fellow Marine from the line of fire. Roy David McCoy is pictured in front of a memorial stone 3 years ago at the Marine Corps Museum and in Washington, D.C. with Michigan resident Archie Wilner. The two became best friends. This has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Facebook and Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays. If you live off campus, tune into Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check us out on our website at texannews.net. For more of the latest news and newscasts, this newscast was produced by the Texan TV news staff. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day, Texans.